Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Scouting Ground Circuit playoffs. My name is Jared Warnke. Joining me for this best of three is Dylan, aka Mayamo Big D. We have 100 Thieves next going up against Frostfire, first seed versus eighth. Dylan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I am ready to get into the series. I've not gotten to cast 100 Thieves next, but I've seen basically all their games, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, these two teams have been battling it out across the 6 tournaments in the Scouting Ground Circuit. Frostfire especially had to have put up such a big fight just to get in. They were the only team out of the top 8 that did not participate in the LWL, so they had to scrounge up points from all of the other leagues just to make it in. And now they got to go up against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's a bit tough. You know, it's always tough when a bracket is seeded like this and the first goes against the last. But I do think, as we were kind of talking off air about it, this is one of the closer series of the entire quarterfinals for the playoffs. I think there is upset potential for Frostfire, especially with, NXI coming in, Fallen Bandit coming in as kind of a coach and player role. As soon as Tenacity and Kenvi left, this team is mortal. They kind of went from these unkillable, like, nobody could ever beat them to it's winnable against these guys.
Yeah, we even saw earlier this week as a new Esports beat 100 Thieves next 3-1 in, I believe, the Cup Finals. But we are jumping into picks and bans right now, and we do have the first ban coming out. It is Dean's Sona. If you don't know too much about Dean, he is a big caster support player. His Sona has really known to draw bans. I very much suggest everyone read Cubby's piece that he wrote on the top 8 teams and the matchups. It's great information, especially as we get into these early games. NXI, big Nidalee player, a very big solo queue outing type of jungler. The Jace ban coming out. We're just hitting player bans. Player bans.
Yeah, I really like it because when you're in a series like this and there's just so much skill on both teams, both teams are basically full challenger. A lot of these players are definitely academy tier players. It's good to target their own champion pool and their own unique picks, because if you don't do that, then you're going to just probably drop a game simply because somebody got a comfort champion. So taking off those comfort champions for people is really huge in this series.
Absolutely. And as we roll out the last bans of round 1, we got Karthus coming in to ban out from both Savage and Kitsuo, as the jungle Karthus could be flexed mid or jungle. The Ezreal ban coming out. And the last ban, Frostfire seems to be taking their time with. I'm curious if they're going to ban out maybe like Graves or even like Aphelios. It's going to ban out Ashe. So Aphelios kind of jumps out to me first, maybe even the Graves as well.
Yeah, I think there is a world where Aphelios is a solid first pick here. A lot of the other AD carries are taken off the board. Something to note, though, is that Caitlyn has been rising a priority. Paired with Karma, it's a pretty solid 2v2 lane. So we'll see if that ends up coming out, but looks like the Karma first pick. It's just so versatile, it can go into 3 different lanes. It's a bully in all 3 lanes. You could go the tank Karma build top lane. You can go support Karma and just go more harass oriented. It's just so strong.
Yeah, especially with that triple flex, mid, top, and support. You don't know where it's going until the cards are on the table. Graves is going to get picked up. That's going to go into Kitsuo's hands. With the marksman jungler, I would expect them maybe to pick up one of their bot laners here. I know a lot of like bot lane champions, both AD carries and supports, are very popular in the first round of draft, as those extra sets of bans help with narrowing down solo laners. Senna's going to be locked in, technically a flex for both AD carry and support.
Yeah, I really love the Senna. It's another one of those versatile champions, and in your early picks in this draft, it's so important to actually leave your draft flexible. Too many teams kind of pigeonhole themselves into a team comp identity, and then they end up just not really being able to flex around their champions. They, don't really fit a style that's good into their enemy, and I really like the Senna for that reason. You can pair it as a marksman, going the Manamune build with more lethality, damage oriented. You can go Grass Senna and pair it with a farmer. It's just really strong.
And as you had called out before, we did see that Caitlyn locked in here, as well as Set, so there still is some flexibility. And we're getting the Soraka bottom lane. Pulling out some Fnatic class strats out here.
Actually, I wouldn't be so quick to jump on it being Soraka bottom, because traditionally Soraka is pretty nice into set. You have that silence field for his Haymaker to kind of make it so he can't really get off that shield as easily, since most sets hold it for when they're low. And also, you just harass him out in lane, you force him off the wave, you get shoved. There is a world where this is Soraka top for Quas, but it's just so flexible. I mean, their draft, they have Senna, who really knows what role that's going to fit right now. They have Soraka, that could go in multiple roles. Graves is just such a strong, versatile champion. I'm really liking both teams' drafts. Very flexible, very strong.
Everyone is playing cards close to their chest. As we see the second rounds of bans, we got Echo coming out from Frostfire, nailing down NXI, along with that Kindred band coming out from them. And it looks like 100 Thieves is thinking that this might not be in the hand, the Soraka might not be in the hands of Quas, as they do ban out his Gnar. Possibly another top lane champion, but we are going to have to wait. But at least as of Frostfire's comp right now, they have a lot of healing to deal with that Karma poke, and the Gangplank is going to get banned out too. So 2 big carries out of Quas's hands, and maybe is this a protect the Jinx comp?
That would be quite spicy. They've got the Senna for more supportive, more support on the Jinx. They've got the Soraka as well, one of the biggest, hyper carry buffers in the game. We'll see if it ends up being locked in. It's one of Lobaz's favorites.
And they're
pivot over to the Shen.
Yeah, the Shen being locked in. We have seen it a little bit more popular in the LCS games.
Yes.
I believe Impact and Licorice have both played it in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, got a bit of a buff. His passive shield up 20 at level 1. I believe it scales more later on into the game. Just makes him that much stronger at trading in the early game. He's already such a good champion in lane trading. And when you kind of buff a champion like that, it makes them just that much more impressive in the matchups that they were already winning in the first place.
Man, somebody call Flexius. We got the Blitzcrank locked in, so we now know it's at least a Karma solo lane, and that's going to be Karma top, as it looks like they're hovering the Zoe right now.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. Karma top for Fallen Bandit makes sense. Just poke down, harass the Shen. It makes it hard for him to actually really get anything off here. Then final pick LeBlanc coming in for Savage. I really like Frostfire's draft. When you're a team that is not really in a position to actually win through just like raw like macro and micro, you may as well put yourself on champions that you're comfortable with. High Key Savage is known for his LeBlanc, Kitsuo is known for his Graves, Dean is known for these Enchanter supports, and Quas just plays everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So as long as you give this guy a strong matchup, he's going to be doing very well for himself. And I think Frostfire has drafted themselves a nice mid-rangey poke comp with a lot of solid options going into the mid lane game.
Yeah, and pick potential for 100 Thieves. Blitzcrank and Zoe Bubbles can just yank a Soraka over walls, over the Dragon Pit. I am so excited to see what these teams end up doing in game, because this draft has been so amazing, because both of these teams are coming out swinging with these new comps, and I am so excited to see what they are able to do.
Yeah, I think the way that these teams and the drafts play into each other, I think it's very interesting to talk about. Like you pointed out, 100 Thieves next, they did opt for more of like a pokey pick style comp with the Zoe Bubble, with the Blitzcrank hook, combine that with, Caitlyn Trap setting up around objectives. I think it's going to be very important to really highlight where 100 Thieves next can get pressure on the map. If 100 Thieves next can gain control of areas of the map like the Dragon, like the Baron area, and they can hold on to that, they have so much zone control that it's going to be really hard for anybody on Frostfire to actually face check and regain that control.
Absolutely. And the Senna bot flex, the Soraka bot flex, the Karma flex, and the set flex, it shows how much these teams have learned throughout the scouting grounds circuit as to how important drafting is for these teams.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The drafts evolved so much over the last few months. I mean, a lot of these champions probably wouldn't really have seen the light of day if we go back to when this all started back in April and May. But just over the last couple of months, the meta has evolved. These players' champion pools have evolved. Both teams know what it's like to play against each other. This is not their first matchup. Frostfire was one of the first teams to take down the old 100 Thieves next. even though it was only in one game, it's still a really huge feat. That team was basically unbeatable. And I think we're setting ourselves up for a really solid game 1.
Yeah. Please do come back. We do have to build up our timer for this matchup. 100 Thieves next versus Frostfire. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the beginning of 100 Thieves Next versus Frostfire. And as we had said before, both of these teams are looking for this strong first game performance. We saw an amazing draft out of both of these squads, and we are also seeing the very early movements come out from these junglers, placing wards, getting oracles to set up for these early lanes.
Yeah, I think it's nice because just getting some early vision down ensures that no cheeky invades are happening. Both teams, there's so much at stake right now. These are really, really important games, especially for Frostfire. All the pressure is on them to actually perform in these games because 100 Thieves, let's face it, I mean, they lost against a new, but besides a new, they don't really lose, right? So a lot of the pressure is on Frostfire to try and keep their playoff hopes alive, try and get a win in this series. And they did draft themselves a really solid comp to go into this game with.
Technically speaking, 100 Thieves already kind of won out from this as they brought up 3 of their players to their Academy and LCS roster.
True.
So
very true.
They're benefiting from the process here as we have our junglers starting top lane, our mid laners taking some early farm here. A little bit of trading back and forth from Coffee and High Key Savage, getting those electrocute and airy procs respectively.
Yeah, just kind of highlighting a little bit of what should happen during this early game. we were talking a bit during the break, this top lane is going to be a snooze fest. There's not much reason for the camera to ever go up there with directed camera. It's going to be Karma harassing down the Shen, trying to farm up grass procs, maybe get a couple turret platings in a few minutes. But besides that, not really much action. There's not too much kill pressure with set jungle and Karma. Shen could just get out of there easily with the taunt. So we're going to be focusing a lot more on the mid and bottom lane especially. I think with Blitzcrank picked for auto here, it kind of signifies that 100 Thieves Next is looking to play around bottom side. And if you look at NXI's path, it says exactly that. A lot of junglers are doing red buff straight into blue and then clearing back down towards their red side. And that's exactly what he did. So by doing this path, it's going to allow you to spend a lot more time towards the bottom side and a lot more time really trying to punish this Soraka lane.
Yeah, a lot of trading coming out early from Lobos and Dean, but they got the double heal combo to keep them nice and healthy. And as long as they stand behind those minions, Otto's not going to be able to do anything in this early laning phase. Quas taking a lot of... He's getting pushed out, but it's as expected. It's a Karma top with Brad.
Quas's job is to just not die. There's no way he's going to get a CS lead. There's no way he's going to get any sort of pressure through pushing the wave. But there is a world where he can actually just live through lane and just be more useful later on in team fights.
Yeah, it looks like Kitsuo's coming in for the mid lane gank. Copy gonna flash out, but he didn't cleanse. That's first blood going over to Kitsuo, but we got a gank here in the bottom lane as well. NXI's coming in. He's running in with the Q. He's gonna have the face breaker in just a moment. They're gonna try. Another hook lands onto D.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
On both of the members of Frostfire. That is a double kill for Yone.
Oh my god, that was absolutely massive for both teams there. Kitsuo with a huge flash over the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, combines it with the collateral damage, and just pulls off a massive burst combo onto Copy. But then in the bottom side, you see Otto going forward on that Blitzcrank, and this is the downside of picking a vulnerable bottom lane like Soraka and Senna. They're so good at poking you out, they're so good at staying out of your range, but the second Blitzcrank can get onto them with Flash, or Set can get onto them with that face breaker, they just die instantly. They're so weak when you're actually in range of them.
Nice 90 caliber net to chunk Dean out a little bit. But one of the things I want to point out is from those ganks, what summoners were expended. Because Kitsuo did have to burn his flash in order to get the kill onto Copy. But NXI didn't. Hook's gonna land back onto Lobos. Yone's going back and forth. Another 90 caliber net onto Dean. But Kitsuo's here. The members of 100 Thieves are so low. Smoke's gonna land. Yone's gonna have to flash Smite from Kitsuo to try and speed him up, but that is not going to be a kill.
I don't think I've seen so much trading in a long time. There's just constant fighting around the entire map. No lane is just farming right now. It's just constant fighting.
Boss is trying to get the damage off. He has those Spirit Blade procs going, chunking out Fallen Bandit in the top lane. And he's down 10 CS at 5 minutes, which is pretty expected.
Yeah, I think if Quas can get out of this laning phase with maybe, I don't know, 20 to 30 CS at most behind, and then not behind too many tower plates, he will just scale up into a Shen that's going to be providing a lot of value in these team fights. You know, providing an extra shield on top of the healing and the shielding that's already present. My only issue is, it's really hard for Shen to actually function in this team comp, because nobody on his team can really serve as a catalyst to bring him into the fight. A lot of the times you see Shen, you know, lately in the LCS and LEC, he's been paired with Hecarim. That's a very good, you know, Shen ult carrier to bring him into the backline. Other traditional ones you might see, you know, like a support, or you might see like a Set in the jungle, something that can actually get Shen in there. There's nobody on Frostfire that actually provides that engage for the Shen ult. Huge play in the bot lane.
Kitsuo's here. Shen ulti's coming in. They're trying to go back in onto Yone. They know he doesn't have flash. He's in the alcove. He's going to go down. Quas going to get pulled underneath the tower. Teleport's coming in from Fallen Bandit. Yone's going to die before he even comes in. So now he's trying to get out, but he gets taunted immediately. Chain follows up from Savage. One. That's a double kill coming back for Kitsuo.
Yeah, what is 100 Thieves Next doing? I don't know. Their mid laner is mid. He has no teleport to follow up there. The second you see High-Key Savage on a ward, and you see the Shen ultimate coming in, you just sacrifice Yeon, and you get out of dodge. There's no world where they actually win that fight 5 versus 4. They end up losing 2 people. They lose this dragon, most likely. That's actually a huge lead for Frostfire.
Just a little bit of a gold lead here can snowball much later, especially as we get closer to Dragon Soul. So they locked up the Ocean Dragon. We got a Cloud coming up next. So we're either going to have the Infernal Soul, which would be crazy, or the Mountain Soul, which would be crazy good for a...
Yeah, there is a world where I think the most beneficial soul for this team would have been Ocean, obviously. And now that that's off the board, I think Infernal Soul is very, very good for them. I think combined with the poke and the scaling from this, it is ADC Senna. So he will be going that Man Immune. He will be going Lethality most likely. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage. LeBlanc obviously loves Infernal Soul. If they do happen to roll that, haven't actually seen what the next dragon is. Oh, it looks like it's a Cloud Dragon, so it's guaranteed, so it's guaranteed either Mountain or Infernal. They would prefer Infernal.
Oh, we got junglers back here bottom lane. The chain's not going to land onto Otto.
It's a party in the bot lane.
But that's a silence in onto Yone. He finally gets the 90 caliber net off. Kitsuo going to go down with the trade onto Yone. Otto's going to go down just as well. NXI is rooted up. That is a triple kill for Lobos. We are putting in the highlight.
Oh, Quas
flashes in with the Tiamat onto Fallen Bandit, but he is going to be okay.
Wow, I think the untold story of this game is that Lobos is just scaling up with these souls. I'd love to see how many souls he actually has, because 8 minutes into the game, there have been so many fights down in the bot lane. This guy's got to be farming up those souls. Yeah, he's at 24 right now. That is crazy. He's going to be hitting his spikes so fast. If he could just stack up this Man Immune, he's going to be a menace by the time third dragon rolls around.
That was an 8.5-minute Man Immune from this Senna.
Whew.
Sitting at 3,200 gold, which is on par with Yone, who also has a couple kills to his name. We got another trade here in the mid lane. Flash coming in out of Kitsuo, but Copy's just going to follow. Three-man base breaker from NXI, and with the Haymaker to finish it off, Super Slam's going to pick up a kill from Savage. Quas trying to get out, and he will. But that is a quick 2 kills answered by 100 Thieves.
Oh my god. I mean, the story of that is that Otto was just there first. He ended up actually dying bot lane, and that ended up benefiting him. You get the move speed after death now, after a few patches ago when they added that. And on top of that, he just walked straight mid. There was no world where he just walked straight back to bottom. There's nothing to do bottom for him. He walks up to the Herald. Frostfire's not expecting it, and Otto combined with NXI there, they just pull off a massive play.
Yeah, I feel like this is the exact reverse of what we saw like 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
It's like you lose like 2 or 3 kills and the objective, except it was Dragon for Rift Herald. So
yeah,
if 100 Thieves are looking for this early gold lead, this Rift Herald is how they're going to be able to do it. They got about 4 minutes left on plates. They have a couple plates to their name in the top lane, and it looks like Frostfire only has 1 in the bottom lane. So they can get first turret top. They did switch their bottom lane up. And NXI is on his way, so we could see first turret coming down soon.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of Fallen Bandit's build so far. He is going first item, Iceborne Gauntlet. It is helpful to keep the Shen at arm's length, the slow obviously providing a lot of value there. But outside of that, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. You still get blown up by LeBlanc quite easily, so if she ends up ever matching you in the side, or ends up just walking down after, shoving in a wave, there is kill potential on this Karma, especially if she has no flash up. Kind of going elsewhere on the map. Both junglers are about even. 2, 1, and 3 for NXI, 3, 2, and 3 for Kitsuo. About even in farm. ADCs, though, this is where it gets a bit interesting. Lobos is just very far ahead of where a normal Senna would be at this point.
Oh, hey, we got a dive here in the mid lane. Copy's
oh my god, what a taunt!
But it doesn't matter. And we have another visit from NXI with a double face breaker. Lobos is still alive.
He stayed alive so long!
Quas comes in, Lobos goes down in the end. But that was such a close
Keep an eye out for Savage. Oh.
Yeah, Savage is here. He doesn't have the double distortion just yet. But they have pushed 100 Thieves underneath that tower, and looks like they're going to back away. Or we could get another dive.
He might be able to wipe here.
NXI's coming in, but he's not in tower range. What are you doing, man? He goes down. Dean picks up that kill. Savage going to force the flash out from Yone. Oh, Yone is still alive in the dive, but that is 1 kill going over Kitsuo and Fallen Bandit in the bottom lane. Chain going to heal him up a little bit. Mantra Q. just to get away, and that is so everyone's being aggressive.
Are we watching the quarterfinals of Scouting Grounds, or are we watching a solo queue game? Because there are 14 kills in 12 minutes. Both teams are just fighting every single time they're on the map. And it's really hard to track who's winning because it's so back and forth, and I love it. I mean, both teams are just trading blows, cross-map. As soon as 100 Thieves gets a good play in the mid lane, Frostfire counters it with a good play in the top lane. And if Frostfire can manage to set up around this dragon, it's huge. LeBlanc playing from Fog of War is so strong. They've got Senna roots from Fog of War, but NXI is creeping up from the bot lane.
He's going to summon the Rift Herald bot. 3 plates left on it means it's going to be very close to dying. They can probably just force the tower.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they end up going for. I think the key thing to note when looking at these objectives here is which team has control of the river area first. Both teams really want to be playing from Fog of War. They want to have their vision set up. Looks like a potential fight in the bot lane, though.
Yeah, bot turret gonna get... Dean steps on a trap and loses about half his health between that and minions. And I do want to point out that Yon has the Executioner, so he has that health reduction already, so it's going to slightly mitigate the amount of healing that the members of Frostfire have.
Yeah, that's quite a nice item to buy. The only downside is nobody else on his team can really comfortably buy Grievous Wounds. Set Jungle doesn't really want to be itemizing into that Bramble. Karma obviously doesn't really want Executioners or Morello. And so he's not really a huge fan of Morello, especially when Copy's not really doing so hot this game. 0-2-2, a bit behind on CS where he'd like to be. So that Executioner's calling coming in will probably be their only source of Grievous Wounds outside of Ignite for a long time, if not the rest of the game. And as we said, I mean, whichever team has control of the river, it's so hard to actually regain that control for the opposing team. Because if Blitzcrank and Zoe get control of the river, nobody can face check that. Nobody can actually deal with that. Whereas on the other side, if Senna, if LeBlanc, if these champions can just sit in Fog of War and wait, who on 100 Thieves can actually tank that combo? They have no true tank. They have the set in the jungle, which sure is nice, but if Dean's there, he can silence that Haymaker. The shield can never come through. Auto on the Blitzcrank, if his flash is ever down, he's dead. So it's going to be very interesting to track vision control in this game.
Absolutely. And even just looking at it now, we have 3 sweepers out from the side of Frostfire. They want to keep as much information limited as they can. They're going to sweep a little bit, and they are just going to kind of be here in the mid lane. Quas is down, pushing bot, catching the wave, probably going to push it out a little bit. Rift Herald is spawning in under a minute, so that's probably going to be the next place these teams sort of look towards, as we do have the Mountain Soul as well.
Yeah, I think the Mountain Soul has the potential to be really huge this game. Maybe some action going on here. Auto might look for a hook.
Ooh, Hook's gonna
lands
land
it!
on the team, gets stunned up, but Quas is coming in with a Stand United. Auto so
It was
low,
a
he
bait!
doesn't have flash, so he goes down. Yon is gonna get chained up too. Kitsuo tries to finish him off, but NXI comes in, Facebreaker, the Karma ulti, the Senna ulti, all of them get used, as well as Fallen Bandit's teleport, as the mid laners
I think Copy just dies.
They're going at it 1-on-1. Savage and Copy.
Oh, it's so close.
Savage doesn't have mana anymore. He's possibly going to get burnt down. Facebreaker and the auto means NXI picks up the kill. We got a 4v4 in this river. Big damage coming out from the Haymaker. Cross goes in. He stuns up Fallen Bandit. Kitsuo's in as much as he can be, but Yoda's firing over the side, and he's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Kitsuo. Copy's coming in. The bubble lands and picks up the kill onto Dean.
Oh my god, Copy and NXI are just the MVPs of this fight here. Copy landing every bubble, landing every paddle star, and NXI is just going huge on this set. He almost has 100% kill participation. Every single fight, this guy is just going in with the Facebreaker, with the Haymaker. Just massive plays coming out of both these guys. They're carrying 100 Thieves right now.
Absolutely. 4, 3, and 4, 8 out of 9 kills. And even at 15 minutes, this game is still super close. It's only a little over 1,000 gold lead, even though the 2 turrets, they did split the dragons here. So we are going to have at least 15 minutes before we hit a soul point. Shelly number 2 is up, and Quas, his teleport is up as well. So if he can stay down bot, force maybe Fallen Bandit or Copy to respond, and maybe they can try and start it up. But it looks like they're just clearing out vision for now.
It would be really big if Frostfire can get control of this area and land themselves that second Rift Herald, just because mid tower's about in range of it, and if they can take down mid tower, it means they can move up their vision line that much further. And as we were highlighting before, just vision is going to be so crucial this game. Both teams running a lot of pick in their composition, so it's going to be crucial to see who can just gain control of areas first.
Quas is,
Bit of a wet noodle fight.
Yeah.
Wait, he might be dead. Yeon's walking down.
Oh, the Caitlyn's gonna come in. The flanking Caitlyn gonna take the blast cone over. Quas gonna have to.
He has no flash.
He's gonna get rooted and slowed. Trap is gonna probably lock him in. No, Yeon doesn't land the trap yet, but Quas knows he's dead.
Oh my god!
He gets the kill! Holy moly! Quas trades 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Oh my god, I mean, that's something that you don't really take into account. How often do you actually play against the Soraka? Sometimes it's just hard to remember that her ultimate is up. It's really important to be tracking that, but sometimes it just slips your mind, and Soraka ultimate there from Dean ends up turning that fight. Quas rushing the Titanic Hydra, he's got so much burst damage. We're gonna see who can get set up in this dragon area first. Looks like 100 Thieves already has control over everything, basically. They've got 2 control wards in the river, they've got 3 wards in the jungle already being taken away. And if they can get a pick here, that means a free dragon for 100 Thieves.
Absolutely. And counter jungling a little bit, and just look at all of those wards on the dragon pit. There are at least 2 pink wards there, and 3 other wards pushing out into the jungle there.
Yeah.
Kitsuo does have this Rift Herald, so they can maybe try and make a play around it. Quas is now up in the top lane. His ulti is up as well as teleport, so he can join the fight whenever. Otto gonna run after Savage, but he's got a distortion to get out.
Yeah, I'd love to see Frostfire just trade for mid tower. There's no way that they can actually force their way in here, is there? It feels so doomed.
2K left on the dragon. Kitsuo wants in. It's gonna go down. Quas ulted in. Doesn't land the taunt on anyone. Haymaker comes out. They get the kill onto Fallen Bandit. Super Slam from NXI and the Phase Rush means he's running out of dodge. But Lobos has the Glacial Augment. He's slowing him as best he can. A Q to slow him again. NXI, they're going for the long haul.
Oh my god.
The heal gets used. The smite comes out. Collateral damage does not kill NXI as Savage dodges the hook, gets some more damage in onto Yone. The Rift Herald comes out. Quas still wants
Lightning McQueen up in the top lane.
Kitsuo's going for it. He doesn't have flash. He has smite. Smokescreen gonna land. He's underneath the turret. NXI finally goes down after the 90-minute chase. The bubble's gonna land on the Dean, but the tower goes down first. Lobos and Savage are in right up into Yone's face, honestly. And we got another 2v2 in the top lane.
It never ends, does it, Jared?
It
never ends.
Because these teams want the win. They want that advantage going into game 2. Fallen Bandit picks up the kill onto Kitsuo. And we're seeing round 37 of Quas versus Fallen Bandit.
Oh man, I mean, to kind of run back what just happened there. Dragon did go over to the side of 100 Thieves next. That is nice, but they ended up losing a life right in the beginning. NXI hauling out of there, ends up getting out for a bit, but gets chased down after about 45 seconds. And I don't know, it's a bit hard, because 100 Thieves next did have the superior setup there, but as soon as they commit everyone into that dragon pit, it's such a tight choke. LeBlanc is able to kind of do her thing, just distortioning over the wall. Soraka with so much zone control with that silence, with those Qs constantly coming down. Lobos as well with the snare. It's just really hard to operate in such a small window. I would have loved to see 100 Thieves maybe commit just one person onto Dragon, and then have everybody else just holding these chokes, forcing Frostfire away. I think if that happened, there was a potential for them to just get Dragon and maybe some picks, or just get out of there for free after Dragon. I mean, this game is just dead even.
Yeah. And one of the big things that happened because of that dragon fight is that Quas got the top lane turret, Rift Herald got the mid lane turret, and then Savage just picked up that outer bot lane turret. So all of the outer turrets are now down for the side of 100 Thieves. Copy's going to be able to pick up that turret, surely. Savage is going in onto Fallen Bandit. He's going to land the chain. Quas not in taunt range, and so they're just going to take some turret shots for it.
Yeah. Bit interesting why they chose to try and get the Karma in the side lane. She's a bit too tanky.
NXI's gonna find Dean with the
Oh,
super
Dean!
slam. Auto comes in. The Shen ulti's not up yet, so Dean goes down. Quas instead decides to teleport in. Auto is so low, he's gonna get picked up by Lobos because look at that range on that 80 carry.
Keep an eye on Copy.
It's a 2-on-1. Copy's looking to pick up the kill onto Quas, and the ace in the hole gets stopped from the Stand United, but Quas jumps over. They are so
Both sides are so low.
Fallen Bandit goes down.
He brought the
Double
snare
distortion
over.
comes, and that is a double kill for Savage, a triple Savage.
Oh my god, he kind of trolled his teammate there with a Spell Thief flash. He flashes with center root on top of him, gets Yeon rooted as well. Wow. I mean, these fights are just so chaotic. There's so much happening. Both teams are playing pretty similar styles, these mid-rangey pick compositions, a lot of CC, a lot of frontlining. But I think Frostfire just gets Baron. It's so hard to see a world where NXI can get in there with auto. Fallen Bandit has no teleport, Copy has no teleport. Oh, the distortion.
Yeah, in the half second needed. NXI's here. It is 11-11 for jungler levels. There's a pink ward up there, and he has flash, and he has another blast cone. Oh, NXI. So oh, they took out the blast code. Oh my god! He stole it! The Baron keeps 100 Thieves in the game.
My god!
That is a full 4-man Baron for 100 Thieves as long as Auto can get out. Dylan, what are we watching?
I have never seen a Scouting Grounds game like this. It is so back and forth. These teams are constantly trading who's winning the team fights. The gold has never gotten more than maybe, what, 2,000? Even though there's 32 kills in 23 minutes. Baron stolen by NXI. Oh my god, I mean, NXI is... His score may not show it, but he is just dragging his team across the finish line right now. I would be willing to bet that this guy is almost near the top of his team in terms of damage right now. Every team fight, he's getting into the middle of things. With that set, even though he's going full tank, he's doing so much work right now.
Absolutely. And now we have another Mountain Dragon up. Dean is so low that Ace in the Hole is going to get blocked by the Spell Shield. Auto tries to get the damage he can, but he's going to have to flash out. Savage is on the bottom side. Soraka ulti comes out. Savage is in the Dragon Pit now, and the teams are separated by terrain.
Yeah, wow. We'll see if Frostfire can heal up a bit. Oh, it's looking so tough. Both teams have so many pick tools here.
Yeah. Bubble Trap going to land. Quas down to about half health. As we take a look, Dragons at around 2k. Hex Flash, excuse me, comes out from NXI, but Yone's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Savage quick, so now we're in a 4v5. Copy goes in, the Dragon is secured by 100 Thieves next, and Kitsuo is going to get super slammed in the backline. NXI's running back out. Haymaker comes in. Copy picks up another kill in exchange for Fallen Bandit, but this puts 100 Thieves on Soul Point now.
Yeah, that Mountain Soul, very, very big. We'll see if they can get a pick onto Quas. He's just so tanky. Yeah, they opt not to do it. Quas has got, what, probably 4,000 health right now. 100 Thieves charging up the mid lane with Baron.
Well, Taunt comes out with the silence. Auto goes down. Lobos has so much range to him. I believe, let's check in on how much stacks he has. He's
89 souls!
He's almost 90 stacks. He has a free 60% crit and like 800 additional attack range. So he is firing much further than the Caitlyn right now.
I would have loved to see a more crit-oriented Senna, because there's just a lot of armor being built on the side of 100 Thieves. This lethality is being, for the most part, negated. Karma's always going to stack armor when she's in the top lane. Set Jungle obviously goes full tank every game. Blitzcrank's got a little bit of armor as well. I mean, it's just hard to really see why lethality, full lethality is the choice here for Lobos. I mean, if he can be hitting Caitlyn or Copy, it's really big, but assuming he's just wailing on these frontliners, he's actually not really dealing that much damage compared to the crit build from Yeon. Opting into that second item, Storm Razor. There's been a bit of a debate in the Caitlyn community. Storm Razor just feels really, really good on her. Makes her feel really smooth, but they're looking in the bot lane here.
Duo's clearing out a ward. Fallen Bandit's going to shield himself out. And yeah, now Frostfire have to play to this bottom side because 100 Thieves are on Soul Point. If this Mountain Soul, you give up the game more or less, because that shield can provide so much in terms of safety. to negate the LeBlanc burst or to negate even like the Graves burst, you're able to get a lot. Plus, those resistances are stacking up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If this dragon can go over to them, this set is going to be so tanky. Who's going to actually kill him? LeBlanc is one of the worst mid laners at actually killing tanks, especially once they can get some MR under their belt. For now, they really only have armor and health. As soon as they can get an item like maybe a Spirit Visage, an Adaptive Helm, whatever they opt into, it's going to be really hard for Savage to actually do too much against this front line. He's going to have to find some creative angles to get onto Yeon and copy.
Ooh, Savage losing 60% of his health from the bubble and the paddle star. He's going to have to take a base. The ace in the hole is going to kill the LeBlanc clone if you saw Eon's plus 25 gold. Maxing out the gold he can get. But even with that Baron, 100 Thieves aren't able to accomplish much. The gold lead than 1,000, and we're almost 30 minutes in. So both of these teams are absolutely putting in their best efforts as they can to pick up this first game.
Yeah, it's really, really tight right now. Honestly, these teams are just so neck and neck. The kill score may not show it, but the gold score certainly does. The big story of this game has been these 3 dragons and the Baron that's going over to 100 Thieves next. They're really keeping themselves alive with clutch team fights around these objectives, because if these team fights went the side of Frostfire and they had this soul right now, if they got the Baron, I mean, this is a completely different game. Dragon spawning in a minute 30. We'll see who can get control. For now, it looks like Frostfire is going to move in, set down some preliminary vision, but they don't have too many wards. Dean needs to take a reset pretty soon and refresh those wards, whereas Otto's already got all of his wards on the map. So it looks like 100 Thieves will be able to take control soon, but for now, Frostfire maintains it.
They have that Scuttlecrab vision for at least... Scuttlecrab's a minute and a half?
A minute, I think, but I'm actually not too sure.
We'll see when it fades. But they have vision for the time being. Baron's coming up in just about 20 seconds, so that is going to be a big point of contention for both these teams. If you want to be able to take down towers, Baron is a great way to do it, especially breaking the base. And looks like we got just teams going mid. Got another NA ramp coming in.
Yeah, the only one that's really keeping up on CS, I guess Quas is a little bit, since he can just stay in the side lane, but Yeon is really farming up a Storm here compared to everyone else. Most people are at like maybe 6 CS per minute, whereas Yeon's up towards that like 8 or 9 CS per minute.
Ooh, Savage taking another paddle start to the face. He's going to try and burst down Fallen Bandit, but not
Oh my god, the damage!
The headshot comes in, Quas is behind them, killing a control war quick. Dean's going to put Savage back to full health in exchange for a little bit of his. NXI's
found.
Out. He's going to get taunted up, but he's going to be able to run out from the Soraka. Hook going to come back in onto Quas. He's trapped. That's going to be the Senna ulti coming out. Savage is over the wall, going to eat a paddle star. And they're trading more back and forth. Both these teams want it, but this absolutely benefits Frostfire with these heals that they can just come out between Ocean Dragon and the Soraka. Here comes the redemption to absolutely negate the paddle star that came out of copy. Savage looks like he's caught out a little bit. Quas is gonna
maybe Fallen Bandit
They're gonna lock down Fallen Bandit. They're gonna kill him. Otto is slowing himself in just a second because for some reason Blitzcrank slows himself. But the bubble lands on the Dean.
Are they body blocking?
He's gonna eat up the hook and the bubble. Otto uses his ulti, comes out the.
This is huge for Frostfire.
One, Quas picks up another kill. Copy's gonna zoom himself out, and this should delay Soul for at least another 5 minutes.
Yeah, Frostfire keeping themselves alive. Baron is up. They opt not to go towards that direction. Although, seems like they're kind of second guessing themselves. No, they go towards Dragon. A bit of, Pink's going on to the Baron, but...
He has Hex Splash,
Dragon.
and XI comes in.
Oh, he thinks he's alone. He thinks the team's on Baron.
Yeah, he tries to ulti himself out. Savage is going to be able to pick up that kill, so this is confirmed Dragon coming out once they get it. And it looks like Frostfire
Yeah, this should just be both going over.
Let's see. They have the vision, they have the heals, but do they have the DPS? Senna, notoriously a slow attacking AD carry, but with Soraka, this should be going down at a reasonable rate. Or at least they won't be taking a whole lot of damage. Otto's here to say hello. He's going to get chained up. Fallen Bandit, Savage, and Copy are
I think they can stop this.
I think they can too. NXI's up in a few seconds. Teleport, or I'm sorry, the Shen ulti's coming in. Dean goes down to Baron!
Dead!
Dean gets burned down from Baron. Quas picks up the kill onto Copy. They're in onto Yone once again. Collateral damage comes out. Yone's gonna almost burn down. The 700 auto Senna auto attack gonna pick up that kill.
I really don't know what's going on, Jared. Like, this game is just so back and forth. 100 Thieves gets the feeling that they can stop the Baron. They get them off of it, but at the cost of 2 people. And Frostfire is just going to walk right back there. 100 Thieves next, looking to contest this Baron. They don't want to give it over for free. NXI stole the last one. We'll see if he can get in position again.
His ulti's coming up in just a few seconds, and he has Hex Flash. Auto going to get chained up, so he goes down. And they can just kite back onto the Baron because they have Soraka. Once Steam gets there, they don't take damage from the Baron. They just get healed up.
Yeah. They're playing this out really well. They see them on the sweeper. I think they just turn off and kill these 2 and then go back on a Baron.
Boss is going to taunt over Savage, and they're looking onto NXI and Fallen Bandit. They're chasing them once again. Flash comes out from Savage to try and lock down NXI. They do not want a repeat of earlier. They absolutely want to confirm this Baron. Dean picks up the kill. Quas is going to chase out Fallen Bandit, but with 40 seconds to do the Baron, hopefully Frostfire can get it.
Yeah, I think Frostfire finally realizes that their Baron take is just too slow. In terms of their respective roles, LeBlanc, one of the worst mids to actually kill Baron with. Senna, one of the worst ADCs to kill Baron with. At this point, with Senna being so fed, it's not too bad, but it's nothing like a Vayne, it's nothing like a Varus, you know. It's not one of those Baron shredders in the AD carry role. There is potential, but it's just too slow. Unless you get an actual full ace, or like, you know, like a 4 for 0, then maybe they could take it, but they tried twice, ended up just getting some picks. They kind of ballooned their gold lead, though. The main story, the main takeaway from that is that their gold lead has grown to over 5,000. They won the fight around Dragon, they won a couple fights around the Baron Pit, and even though they didn't really get too many objectives, get too much map pressure off of it, they did get items in their pocket. We're seeing some important spikes come through.
Ooh, Auto comes in. They got the shield up onto Dean. He's
lasting
so long, but he goes down. Quas not able to join the fight because the shield didn't fully complete. They bursted down Dean in enough time. Savage is up on the top side. He's going to take a recall.
Does 100 Thieves get Baron? They're going to try.
They're going for it. Caitlyn's got some good DPS. Dawning Shadow going to come out. Bubble's going to land onto Kitsuo, so they're going to try and burn it a little bit more. Copy has a barrier in his back pocket. Savage
Kitsuo could go over this wall. There's no vision for him, though. They don't actually see Baron's health right now.
Down at 24, there are traps. Kitsuo,
it's gone.
They've abandoned it. 100 Thieves next. Pick up the Baron. And with the Karma ulti shield, get out clean.
Not a big fan of just sacking Baron there. I feel like there was a world where Kitsuo could go for that 50-50. Opts to just save his life. Maybe they can get a mid tower here. They don't want to press too far forward, though. They're afraid of the Baron-empowered recalls. And that's just a free Baron going over to 100 Thieves next. They played it beautifully. They knew that Dean is just such a susceptible target in the mid lane. If you can get onto him with Blitzcrank, Auto just flash forward. They have a lot of CC on this team. And Dean is very squishy. He may have the heals, he may have the shields coming through, but outside of that, he doesn't really have that much health. So if you can get through them with the Blitzcrank ultimate and with just other forms of heal reduction, like this Grievous Wounds from Caitlyn, it's very hard for Dean to actually keep himself alive here.
Savage also has why can't I remember the name? The Dry Soul Stealer.
Yeah,
but
he's dead. What?
He just loses all of his stacks as I mention it. Oh no! Savage goes down. Dragon's up in 15 seconds. This could be Mountain Soul for 100 Thieves.
It feels like Frostfire has some massive nerves right now. They're making such split decisions, and this is what a hook!
Kitsuo gets hooked. He's gonna go down. Yone picks up that kill. They're chasing after Lobos and Dean. Yeah. Boss is on the bottom side, gonna pick up some farm on his way out, but not good enough as they are most certainly gonna lose this Mountain Soul.
Yeah, Mountain Soul going over to 100 Thieves next. It's gonna make LeBlanc's job so much harder. Quas is gonna go down here too. Oh wait.
He gets hooked. And that is going to be more money going into the pockets of Yone. He has 75% crit. Those headshots are doing so much damage, even to Quas, because he has the Mortal Reminder.
Yeah, 100 Thieves next, their composition has really come online. I think that the Karma with these 3 items, especially the Ardent and the Athenes coming in for her, she is going to be shielding and buffing up this Caitlyn so much. As long as they play just a safe front-to-back team fight, looking for picks, looking for hooks, looking for set ultimates whenever they're available, but not forcing too much, Yeon can just carry these fights really hard. He has the damage now to kill Quas. He, of course, has the damage to kill everybody else because they're so squishy. He can get through these Soraka heals and the shielding.
Ooh, Yon goes down to about half health. They're firing in onto the turret. He's going to heal up with whatever lifesteal he has. Chain not going to go fully through. Savage jumps back.
Up in a few seconds.
They're focusing the turret. Quas is up right now, so he can run in. Maybe with a flank. He doesn't have his ulti, so he's going to have to go head into this team. They pick up the inhibitor, but they want to fight. Quas flashes in with a taunt. Yon kiting back as far as he can. Savage had to dip out, and he might dip right back in. Quas is soaking up so much. Kitsua decides to flash in, says, I'll do it myself. And he still can't pick up Yon. He's still alive. Yon picks up the kill. Lobos picks up Yon. That is going to be Savage.
Their team comp is so disgusting.
The chain lands onto Otto. This Blitzcrank does not have flash. He is going to be going down unless Fallen Bandit can help. The Qs, the shields, the chains. They are going for the long escape here.
Oh my god. This fight is so tense. Otto, he has to be run down. The self-slow is about to come in. Oh my god, look at the auto range on Lobos. That's huge.
How
many souls does he have?
Almost, he has 140 souls.
Oh my god, I wonder what the most amount of souls in a competitive Senate game is, because we've got to be getting pretty close in this Scouting Grounds tournament. 140 souls, 54 kills in 38 minutes. Are we watching Bronze Solo Queue, or are we watching the best of the best of an amateur? This is just insane.
Take off the nameplates and guess the elo.
Honestly, I mean, the thing to note is that the game is really on Lobos right now. Lobos and Kitsua are really the 2 main carries for Frostfire. Quas opting for more of a damage-oriented Shen build is quite interesting. I'm pretty sure he just walks us out. Yeah, there's no world NXI can chase that down. Savage has really fallen off here. It's very hard for him to actually do his job against the Knight's Vow, against the Maw Malmortius, against the Banshee's Veil. Who's he going to really kill? Maybe, I'd say right now he does about half of a carry's health. So if his team can manage to do the rest, it's good. I think his main use right now is looking for chains, just looking for some pressure around these objectives, but Lobos and Kitsua, that's the name of the game right now. Peel back with Dean, look for Quas ultimates on top of the carries, and you just try and play out these slow, long, drawn-out fights. Lobos is massive. He's almost full build. Yeon is full build. It's just the battle of these 80 carries. Who will carry harder?
Yeah, 8-2 and 18 from Lobos and 9-7 and 6 from Yeon. I'm so interested to see what their largest critical strike is at the end of this game, because honestly, if it is not in the thousands, I am going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But the inhibitor is down for the side of Frostfire, so they are going to have to try and negate those minions as best they can. But they have a Shen, who has 2 ways to join the fight, so I'm not super worried about that. And one of the things that we didn't realize, or I at least didn't realize before, until Quas was attacking their inhibitor, is that they took 100 Thieves inhibitor turret bottom lane. So if they can get a good enough fight and they have minions in the right spot, that could be a game-ending push if the fight is right. But we have these teams throwing out abilities back and forth. Baron is coming up in 10 seconds. Elder Dragon is up in a little over a minute and a half. Bubble's coming out. Quas is here to lead the charge. Mantra Q, not going to do any damage. Fallen Bandit may have a death cap, but that's not really for damage. That's just for shielding power.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just so tense right now.
There it is. There's the Shen taunt coming in. They are going to do their best to burst down Otto.
Oh my god, Lobos is so strong.
Lobos is from a mile away, pulling in the souls. Picks up the kill onto Fallen Bandit. NXI, about half health. He's going to have to run out. Copy going to do some damage onto Quas, but Dean can heal back so much more percentage-wise. And now Fire, for it feels like the 5th time, are on the Baron.
Yeah, it goes down a little bit faster now. Looks like 100 Thieves Next is trying to trade in the mid lane. They realize that Baron's gone. There's no point in trying to contest it. They're going to try and go for this mid lane inhib. But if they do die...
Oh, Shen ulted LeBlanc. They pick up the Baron, and Savage and Quas are here to do their best to defend. It's going to be the Banshee's Veil getting popped by Savage, but he's only at about half health. He can take 2 autos from Yone. Kitsuo's coming in. The chains are going to land. Haymaker coming out from NXI and the Super Slam on top of it. He will finally
He's dead
go
for
down.
Elder.
He is absolutely dead for Elder. Savage goes in. He's so aggressive. He jumps back. Blue buff doesn't proc onto him. Keeps him alive. But that is a Nexus tower going down. But here we are back in the fight. Kitsuo's going to have to jump in and out. Yone picking up Crab.
Wait, even though they don't have a jungler, they do have the stronger team comp right now in this
Savage goes
area.
down Yone!
Oh my god!
Oh no! Did Frostfire stay too long? We are in a 4v4 situation. NXI's up in 15. The inhib comes back in the bottom lane. But
yeah, it's
Elder Dragon's still alive.
This is insane. It's just like a Mexican standoff right now. Neither team actually wants to start the objective. Yeon's starting to solo it. They have to walk through this tight choke, though. It's so hard.
Yeah. The bubble lands onto Dean, so he is already half health as Quas comes back in. He loses a lot of health. Another bubble lands. Collateral damage to try and get him out. Dean's down to a quarter health. Paddle Star will kill him, and it does! Copy with the Paddle Star in the Senna Vision. That is Elder Dragon started up by 100.
That is just absolutely massive right now. I mean, Kitsuo not able to actually pressure around the objective, even though he is alive and NXI was dead. There's no world where they can actually walk in and pressure. Yeon is just so strong right now. Full build on this Caitlyn. As soon as you combine the Zoe bubbles and the Caitlyn traps combined with Blitzcrank Hook, nobody on Frostfire can actually tank that combo. Elder should just end this game.
They'll at least take these inhibs. The Baron minions won't mean much when you're on the offense and don't have any towers to defend it with. So that is 2 inhibs. I would think that they either maybe push to the end. Yeah, they got 1 tower left. That's a lot of damage onto Kitsuo, and the Elder Dragon does execute. Dean doing what he can. He has to be really careful. He can send himself into the threshold. The last Nexus turret goes down. Savage jumps in, chains, jumps back. Lobo's putting in damage at distance, but the auto's out from Yone, keeping
Lobos flashes forward.
Lobos goes down. Or I'm sorry, Lobos kills off Yone, who goes down. This is an insane fight with insane repercussions.
They hold off the Elder for now. They do lose 2 inhibs and their last Nexus turret, but there's really no backdoor threat coming in from 103's next. There's no, Tom Kent's, there's no Twisted Fate. There's nothing like this that can actually get straight to the Nexus. You're not worried about Karma, so it would have to be a massive blunder for Frostfire to let their base be backdoored. But it's just going to be so scary. Elder lasting for a little bit longer, about a minute or so left on that objective. I don't think 100 Thieves can actually get anything tangible from it. Probably just a little bit of control around this Baron area, spawning in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. This is a banger of a game, Jared.
Yeah, we are 45 minutes in, and I still don't know who's going to win this game. We're still 4K difference between these teams, but there's a certain point where it just doesn't matter, because once you're full build, it doesn't matter how much gold you have. Like, Yone has 3K in his pocket, or 2,500 gold in his pocket right now, but he's full build. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, most champions in this game are full build. The champions that aren't, doesn't really matter that they're not full build. I mean, the next item coming in for Dean's not going to be just a massive breaking point. Could argue that Kitsuo getting his final item, which is probably going to be GA if I had to guess. That does mean a little bit. Zoe right now and LeBlanc both kind of struggling. 5 items on them apiece. They don't have any components for their final item. Looks like 100 Thieves just wants to charge down mid and try and get this one over with.
Yeah, with the super minions, it should be a little bit easier, especially with their pick potential.
Oh my god, the damage.
Over half of his health blasted away. He's going to have to try and do what he can. That's going to be Dawning Shadow coming out. Hook's going to land on the Savage. He jumps out, but Yone picks it up with the crit. That's going to be the super slam coming out.
Oh,
Double kill
that's
for
it,
Yon.
brother.
And
That's
this
it.
has to be game. But Gloss is so tanky.
Lobos!
He's still alive. It's 2 quick kills.
He
It's
got
back by Kitsuno. Lobos goes down. Yon picks it up. That's a triple kill for the Caitlyn, but Gloss gets kills of his own, and the game is still going on.
It never ends, Jared. It actually never ends. They 3 versus 5. How do they win a team fight with Lobos getting hooked into the center of the team? I've never seen anything like this. They're holding off the base. They are desperate to try and keep themselves alive in game 1 of these scouting rounds quarterfinals. This is insane.
Both of these teams do not want to give an inch to their opponent. Kitsuo's doing his best to hold off these minions. Baron's up in 30. Elder Dragon number 2 is up in just under 2 minutes. Quas is going for some turrets of his own. He picks up the inner middle. Copy's here to clear the waves, and Quas just walks out. He has so much health.
Yeah, okay.
He has almost 5,000 health.
Let's take a bit of a breather, everybody. There's not anything happening for now. Let's take state of the game. Okay, there's 2 inhibs down for Frostfire. They're both spawning up pretty soon. In the next minute or so, those inhibs are going to be coming back up. Whereas on the side of 100 Thieves Next, they have no inhibitors now. So there's super minion pressure that's going to allow 100 Thieves Next to get control of this Baron area. Elder's up in a minute 30, and Elder's definitely a stronger buff than Baron at this point in the game. Elder almost guarantees that you're going to be winning the team fight. But it looks like 100 Thieves Next is looking to start up this Baron. They just have so much pick. Who on the side of Frostfire can actually walk up and contest?
They're going on this Baron. There isn't an Elder to trade. And the damage from Yon is just going to be able to burst this down. Dawning Shadow comes out, but it means absolutely nothing at this point as the Baron goes over to 100 Thieves once again.
Yeah, this Baron is going to be huge too because...
Wait, why is Dean so far forward? Dean, back up, buddy.
Yeah, it's been scary. This is one of the most Chad sorcerer players in the game.
Oh, hey, Savage is coming in. They're trying to
Savage.
pick up Yon. Quas.
Oh, the shield!
Away. Yon has so much shielding on top of him. They're able to kite it out. The
Big
hook lands on the Kitsuo. Soraka ulti comes out. He is still alive.
How's nobody dead? How is nobody dead?
Lobos finally goes down in the end to the Paddle Star. Savage tries to pick up Yon, but Copy says no.
This may just be it, Jared. 100 Thieves charging down mid. They have the Baron buff. Massive sleep coming in.
Yeah, big sleep onto Quas. He's been the tank for this team. He's going to get Super Slam back, and that is percent health damage coming out. The more health you have, the more damage you're taking out of NXI Showstopper. The ulti comes out. Barrier Kitsuo's going to almost eat it up, and Copy's coming in. He's out of mana, but he does not need it as the main damage dealers of 100 Thieves Next are not available. And that's Dean going down. That's Kitsuo going down. And that is game 1 of this best of 3 going over to 100 Thieves.
In a game like this, are there any real winners? I mean, both sides just back and forth the entire game. The game ended with a 200 gold lead in favor of 100 Thieves Next. It does not get any closer than this, ladies and gentlemen. 50-minute slugfest. What is that, 74 kills, I think, at the end of the game in 50 minutes? Wow, this is just insane. I mean, Frostfire has to be so tilted going into Game 2. They had so many windows where maybe, just maybe, they can eke out a victory. Getting Barons, getting Towers, getting Inhibitors, but 100 Thieves ends up pulling it back. Their team comp was just so strong in the late game.
Absolutely. This was an absolutely amazing performance out of 100 Thieves and Frostfire. If this is what game 1 looks like, I am so scared to see what game 2 looks like.
That was a banger, brother. It just does not get better than that. I'm so sad it's a best of 3 and not a best of 5. I just hope that Frostfire can bring it back so that we can go to a game 3. I'm excited to get into game 2.
Yeah, we will be in game 2 in just a few minutes. I think both teams probably need a few minutes to breathe after that back and forth game. An absolutely amazing performance out of both of these teams. We kept mentioning it in the cast. Yon's Caitlyn was critting so much. I had just seen like him crit the red buff for over 1,000 damage, so I'm curious what he was actually able to do to the real champions in the game. And that is just an amazing, like, oh man. So that was a game.
Yeah, it's really hard to find the words to describe that game. I mean, that just took so much out of us, and I could only imagine what that takes out of the players. 50-minute game in one of the most important series that they've played all year, if not the most important series. There may not be money on the line directly in that game, but there's just so much pressure on you. You want to do well in these quarterfinals. If you're 100 Thieves Next, you want to prove why you're the number one seed. If you're Frostfire, you want to show that even though you're the 8th seed, you're one of the stronger teams in this. A lot of upset potential, a lot of dark horse potential. And as you were saying, I mean, Game 1 MVP has to be on that Caitlyn. I mean, pumping out absolutely insane damage. I wish I could see the damage charts, but that guy had to do like 70, 80,000 damage in those team fights, buffed up by Fallen Bandits. Karma, he was doing just insane work in that game.
Absolutely. Back and forth. The Baron steal out of NXI.
Oh my
and
god.
They were able to get the Mountain Soul, the Elder Dragons. They were able to accomplish so much in that game. And we had talked about how NXI is like somewhat of like a solo queue player, and he was putting on a showstopper of a performance.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's been so much hype around this guy ever since he joined 100 Thieves Next to replace Kenvi. A lot of people didn't really know who he was in the scene. Players knew who he was, but a lot of the actual talent and like people that just watched, they didn't really know too much about him. But he has proved himself. The man has gotten multiple pentakills. He's stolen so many objectives. He's carried 100 Thieves Next. Another banger of a performance in this game 1.
The crazy thing is too is that we may be seeing this. We could see this matchup again. For those of you who don't know about the bracket for this tournament, it is double elimination. So the first 2 rounds are best of 3s.
Yes.
I believe, and then once we hit like the semifinals, or like the winners finals, like the losers finals, that's when we get into the best of 5s. That's when we get into the real grime of
the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
that's just I really cannot wait to see this game too. See how the teams adapt, see how Frostfire and 100 Thieves bounce back from that pretty tough game 1 for both teams.
All right, the players got a breather. We need a breather too. So we're going to be back for the draft for Game 2 in just a few minutes. If you enjoyed Game 1, please come back. We'll see you soon.
I love it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 100 Thieves Next versus Frostfire. We are into picks and bans of Game 2 after that insane ending, an entire game for Game 1. My name is Jared Workey. Still with me is Dylan, and we got the first couple bans coming here. Sona, not surprising. Nidalee, Ashe, we're seeing a lot of the stuff from Game 1. They're going to ban the Karma out from Fallen Bandit, which is the big change. Ezreal means Ezreal is still up.
Yeah, I like the Karma ban. Karma's just a really flexible first pick. Do you think Ezreal should probably take its place here? Although the Caitlyn is a solid matchup into the Ezreal, yeah, so they opt for the Graves, which is nice. NXI and a carry champion. This guy has been doing so much work lately in the last few series that 100 Thieves has played, so it makes sense to take away both Kitsuo's best champion and put NXI on something he can do well on.
Yeah, we've seen NXI on a tank. Let's see how he does on a carry.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, my friend.
And that Graves does get locked in. Quas gonna actually lock in his Gangplank. He didn't want another round of bans going over to him. It could be mid lane Gangplank. I'm gonna say it's most likely Quas.
Yeah. It's one of Quas's specialties. He's got a few champions he's known for in this scouting ground circuit so far. Gangplank is definitely one of them. Bit interesting to see it on R1, however. I think you could probably wait to pick the Gangplank till third pick, unless you're really afraid of Fallen Bandit taking it away. Then again, the Gangplank doesn't really show all too much in terms of your team comp. There's no direct counter for it. Would have probably liked to see the Ezreal picked up here instead for Frostfire, but we do see the Lee Sin Ezreal taken by 100 Thieves.
And I'm curious if we see very similar comps to like some LCS teams where they just go full global, where you can just pick up like Twisted Fate, and you can just do Twisted Fate Gangplank, ultimate combos. The Ornn is going to get locked in, so he's just going to try and take the free lane as best he can.
I like it.
That is a Jinx locked in for Lobos.
Yeah, it's such a good pick for the way that Frostfire plays. They like to play these long, drawn-out scaling games, which is why they obviously picked the Gangplank. Jinx, one of the hardest scaling ADCs in the game, especially when you pair it with a lot of Dean's champion pool. And I really like what they're doing here. They know that they want to get Dean's hands on something like a Soraka, maybe a Lulu, something that can really buff up these carries. And what does well into those? Blitzcrank. We might see a Thresh ban as well towards auto, something just guarantee that your bot lane is going to have a good time in laning phase, and Lobos will be able to take the rest.
Absolutely. 100 Thieves wait until the last second to lock in their ban. They're taking out the Soraka. They were tired of dealing with it in Game 1.
Yeah.
And Cop Zoe's going to get banned out as well. So a lot of the picks from 3 of the 5 picks from last game have been banned out from the side of Frostfire, and they have banned out Dean Soraka. We could maybe see another ban out onto Savage's LeBlanc. I don't know if they it did a lot, but I didn't feel it was like the normal like double distortion LeBlanc kills 4 people kind of damage.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think a LeBlanc ban would have been okay, but I do think they just know what Dean wants to go for here. A hyper-scaling support that can really just buff up these other hyper-scalers. They end up taking away the Soraka and the Lulu, opting into a potential Lux here.
That gets locked in.
That's spicy. That is spicy.
Still technically a flex.
Yeah,
pick.
very true, very true.
Support. We've seen the Lux Sona out from Cloud9. So it's absolutely possible that's going to be in the hands of Dean. And 100 Thieves looking to pick up a support and a mid laner now. They don't really know who's mid or bot, but the Nautilus is a good insurance pick.
Yeah, Nautilus is a great pick here because Lux's main weakness is things that can get right on top of her. She can keep things at an arm's length, but, I mean, if you just point and click the Nautilus ult or land a nice dredge line, she is pretty susceptible to being killed. It's like Twisted Fate, the potential last pick here. I do like this a lot. This is basically signaling, ooh, they shift over to the Syndra. We'll see what they end up locking in.
Not a lot.
Okay,
last second.
Yeah, they opt into the TF at the very, very last second. I do like the TF more than the Syndra, just because Jinx, Lux, assuming that is the bottom lane here for Frostfire, it's such a susceptible lane to pressure. if you are ever able to use the Destiny to port down to the bot lane and combine that with Nautilus, it's just so much kill pressure on the side of 100 Thieves next, and they can really just snowball the game to the bot lane.
Yeah, Savage goes back for his LeBlanc. 2 games back in a row. This is probably going to be a little bit better of a laning phase for him. LeBlanc into TF, he'll definitely have a lot more first. Because the Zoe bubble is far, far a larger CC that you need to dodge. Whereas like gold card is just like gold card, and then you get like wild, you just get queued, and it's like, all right, that's kind of it. But we will have to see how Savage is able to do it.
Yes. I think one last quick thing to note here. Frostfire definitely scales a lot better this game. I think the Lee Sin is a bit of the odd thumb out, as well as the LeBlanc, a bit interesting there. But we're going to see who can actually take this game. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, game 2 coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to throw it to break right now, and we will see you guys at the beginning of game 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 100 Thieves Next Game 2 versus Frostfire. And as we had said in this draft, a lot of new things, especially
Yeah.
coming out from the side of Frostfire, really only bringing that LeBlanc back in from Game 2.
Yeah, I think the key thing to watch in this game is definitely Loboz's Jinx. It's something he used to really hard carry in a lot of these earlier series from Frostfire during various playoff tournaments. Something that not a lot of teams are practiced against. Nobody really plays Jinx in solo queue, and nobody really plays it in scrims. It's just one of his favorite champions, and combined with Dean's champion pool, it makes it a very potent pick down in the bot lane. So if we can track how that's doing, that would be great, as well as Quas's Gangplank. It's just another hard scaler on this team. As we're kind of talking about a little bit in Champion Select, the rest of the team, in terms of the jungle mid, don't really fit that. So I would love to see Savage and Kitsuo get something going early, maybe try and get some pressure towards bot lane. Try to get these scaling champions rolling, because they do fall off as the game goes on.
Yeah, one of the other big things that I noticed is that the side of especially Frostfire does not have they only have two shields this game. They have
Yes.
Dean's Lux and they have Kitsuo's Lee Sin. So it's not like you're gonna see the big 1,000 health shields coming out this game out of any of these members. So if you get picked, you're most certainly gonna die this time.
Yeah, just a little bit of early jungle tracking. It seems like both junglers starting on the top side. Kitsuo opting into the same path he did last game, which is the red into blue straight away, and he's probably going to just clear back up. Oh,
Savage
no.
copy trading in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Savage getting just about the same amount of trade because minions. But he does have that electrocute, and he's going to be able to get a little bit more damage out in this especially early game.
Yeah, keep an eye out for Kitsuo. He was spotted out on a ward. 100 Thieves knows that he's invading this red buff, but they're not really doing anything about it. I think it's just going to go over for free.
Yeah, they lost priority in bot and mid, and Yon had to burn his heal because he got Lux bound into the traps from Lobo's Jinx.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how exactly that happened, considering 100 Thieves had perfect information. They knew Lee Sin with 4 CS was invading, so they knew he just did red. And instead of really opting to contest it or opting to invade Lee Sin's jungle, NXI really doesn't do anything, ends up losing his red buff. Both junglers just clearing, though. Kitsuo has more camps to clear, so we'll be a bit ahead, assuming he can just, keep clearing these out nice and safely.
Gonna get that triple buff, so it's gonna be nice and easy for this Lee Sin. It looks like they're paying out a gank on the bottom lane, so we might see some jungle attention there as both junglers are in the area. Copy, not level 6, but has teleport. Ward's gonna spot out NXI.
Oh, they're gonna force it.
Auto goes in with the hook. Dean is gonna go down very low. The ignite's on. Heal comes out. Kitsuo and NXI are going back and forth. Dean does have the barrier if he needed it. Otto's going down. He's down to about 200 health. Zap gonna land from the shield. High Key Savage is here if he needed to, but they decide to go for the first kill.
Yeah, just a bit of exchange of health bars. Heal ended up being burned for Lobos to keep Dean alive. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication. It's probably better to just burn the barrier on Dean there to keep himself alive, but not really a huge deal. Both junglers looking to contest this top crab, though. This is a really potent 2v2 for both teams. TF and Graves, very strong, whereas LeBlanc and Lee Sin, maybe even stronger. Quas gets first move, though.
Yeah, Quas has been pushed up this whole lane so far, really using those barrels, trying to get in the face of Fallen Bandit. And those barrels are going to hurt later. If I remember correctly about gameplay, the barrels have natural armor pen, right?
Yeah, I believe he ends up actually penetrating armor for free, especially as the game goes on. I think it scales.
Yeah, ignores 40% armor, so those barrels are going to do work against a full tank Ornn as we get into these later stages. But
this might be a dive. Kitsuo here to cover him.
Yeah, we could see a 2v2 fight, but it looks like they just want to push him out and give Fallen Bandit the reset quick.
Yeah, to just set up a little bit of what each team wants to do. Frostfire probably is identifying to themselves that they scale very hard. The only thing that they want to do in the early game is make plays that are centered around the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin. If they are not part of the plays, it's probably best to not make them, whether or not that's diving Ornn, whether or not that's looking to use priority to get Dragon or dive bottom. They want to be forcing plays around their very potent mid-jungle 2v2. Whereas on the side of 100 Thieves, they want to be looking to use this Destiny, use this Ornn ultimate around these neutral objectives to try and force them early on. I think both teams scale pretty well, and they have ways that they can both win team fights later on, very similar to last game, where neither team gets like directly outscaled. It's just like the way that they fight is different, and it's going to lead to very unique team fights and very like riveting game states that are going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. And as our solo laners hit level 6, we are going to likely see some more motion coming out. Gangplank ulti is very good. Copy gonna get rooted down, gonna eat the electrocute, but he has the corrupting pot, so he's gonna heal back a little bit. And all 3 lanes from Frostfire, I feel, have been actively pushing this entire game, really trying to get priority so that way they can go for these early objectives.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that Quas did tick over to 6, so he has this Gangplank ultimate for a potential bot fight. Frostfire would love to fight this.
Bomb Bandit also switched over to Ignite, so I think he teleported back to lane, but Dean's going to have to pop his own barrier as he takes a large chunk of damage. Savage and Copy going at it in the mid lane. Kitsuo's pinging, he wants to go in. Savage lands the root. That's going to be the WQ. He stunned towards the LeBlanc, so he gets the trade kill, but Kitsuo picks up first blood for Frostfire.
Yeah, a little bit too deep for the side of Frostfire. Not sure I'm a huge fan of that play being made. They probably just felt a little bit of pressure. They know that they don't really skill. Oh, wow, that hook hitbox. Okay.
Nobody else is there, so they can't really kill Dean. Q not going to land out of Kitsuo, so they're not going to go after Auto. But 100 Thieves has secured priority. Fallen Bandit comes in with Copy's Destiny Gate, pops down the Gangplank ulti, but not able to do enough as Quas goes down.
Yeah, and that's going to help equalize the CS lead that was developing in the top lane. Quas was up almost 30 CS as he had a massive wave crashing. I would have loved to see Savage and Kitsuo walk over there. I think they just flash out, right?
One and the quick draw for NXI. Savage is so low. Like a Death Rocket comes out, they trade 1 for 1, but Lobos is in the middle of it with Dean. Dean doesn't really have the mana. So many flashes! Where's everybody going? That's a double kill for NXI. Dean solo Copy hits the ghost, and he picks up a kill as well. A dragon and 3 kills coming out for 100 Thieves next.
Yeah, 100 Thieves next is a huge victor there. They get a kill up in the top lane, and they help Fallen Bandit kind of stabilize his lane state. NXI gets massively ahead of Kitsuo in this matchup. He's almost up 30 CS. He's 2-0-2, despite Kitsuo actually getting that first initial invade on a smart play by him. It's a bit weird that this is how the jungle matchup is panning out, despite the early game. Probably a bit of mispathing from Kitsuo and just opting more for ganks rather than farming, which didn't really end up paying off. 6 kills to 2, kind of taking note of the game state. There is a 2,500 gold lead developing for a team that has Ornn, that has Ezreal, that has Graves, that has Twisted Fate. All of these really great scaling options, so to get an early lead is huge.
And we do have the old Clutch Gaming special with the rotation of the bottom lane to the top. They haven't started the Rift Herald, but would be a good early take. They stun up Fallen Bandit underneath the turret, but he is still, just for being a level 8 Ornn with a Bambi Cinder, has a lot of health. It looks like they're going to try and dive him.
There's a world he outplays this. Oh, he doesn't have his ultimate. Never mind. It's going to make it a lot harder here.
Almost up. Root lands. That's going to be the Bellows Breath, but he gets kicked. Kitsuo picks up the kill. Quas up here in the top lane, holding the tower as best he can.
Yeah.
NXI's taking the Rift Herald, so they're going to be able to pick that up. Yone takes a lot of damage from the barrels and Gangplank, so we could end up in a turret race.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves should be able to get it first, assuming they pop down that Rift Herald, but both teams are just going to end up trading turrets no matter what. Just a little bit of extra gold going into the side of 100 Thieves. Quas smart enough, though, to just say, all right, this turret's going down. There's no need in defending it. But Fallen Bandit TP's in. He really makes sure that this turret doesn't go down. It's a pretty smart play from him.
trying to save it as best he can. Copy showed up top to ensure that they got the first turret. Shelly gets that second charge, so that top lane turret is going to lose over half its health. Savage not really able to pick up much outside of some more CS. Savage also is down about like 30 CS to Copy right now.
Yeah. It's not looking too pretty for the team that really needed to snowball this early game, get things going. They lost the first dragon. They're down 3,000 gold. They're down map pressure because of the way that towers have fallen. It's going to be tough. Destiny's available for Copy. Him and Yeon walking towards the mid lane here. If they could use Destiny to really try and force around this dragon pit, dragon spawning in about 2 minutes. Looks like it's a mountain dragon second. So it's going to be a Cloud or an Infernal Soul. Obviously, 100 Thieves would prefer the Infernal Soul. It's just really good with their team. Ezreal loves Infernal Soul. TF with the wildcard Graves adds a little bit of extra burst to his combo.
And it looks like Yon is chilling in this mid lane, picking up more plates. Just to check the gold really quick. He's about 800 gold up onto Lobos, and that's mostly just from turret gold and that one kill. But he's going to have to flash, going to get followed by Savage.
This is so forced.
Yeah, they try, and they do pick up the kill. Lobo's going to be able to get that. Savage is going to go down. Destiny comes in. They pick up another kill onto Kitsuo. And there's a dragon up in a minute. Ornhorn comes in. Fallen Bandit says,
Wait,
we're
no
not
flash
done
on
yet.
Lobos.
He gets knocked up. They both get knocked up. But Otto doesn't have the dredge line to follow up.
Yeah, it just felt so forced from the side of Frostfire. Very good to recognize that Ezreal had no Arcane Shift, and if LeBlanc just went forward, they could force the flash, but you're pressing too far forward as soon as you flash over that wall as Savage. There's no reason to do that.
Well, they're going back in. Dean, no flash, but Copy's going to force his own flash to ensure that gold card landing and ensuring another kill into NXI's pocket. Q comes out. Quas's Gangplank's coming in, but he doesn't have the mana for this.
Yeah, no mana on Gangplank. That's just an int.
Copy picks up the kill. Quas teleports just to die. NXI's died in the turret, picks up another kill, and that is another kill going over to 100 Thieves as Yon picks up Kitsuo. This is such a turnaround from game one, and 100 Thieves are coming out with very concise macro plays and rotations.
How does 100 Thieves next keep finding these diamonds in the rough in the jungle? First, Kenvi, who was undoubtedly the best player in all of Scouting Grounds when he was still playing in it. Now NXI, who's playing insane in every series I've watched of this guy so far. He's just popping off in this game and in series before.
And Savage is just there. He gets out because he's LeBlanc. But
yeah.
Oh, he goes back in. They're
in.
trying to take the dragon, but it goes over to 100 Thieves. Put the 10-minute clock onto the Infernal Soul now. Dean flashes out, has to use his barrier. He is so low. They finally shut down NXI. Fallen Bandits not long for this world as Quas picks up that kill. And Frostfire have answered back with as much as they could.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit nice because they can pressure this mid tower, get a couple of plates, maybe some chip damage there. But they're losing a wave in the top lane. They already lost a little bit in the bot lane. We'll see if they can actually end up getting this whole turret. I don't think they will, just because plates are still up. Kind of stinks that Kitsuo got that shutdown, not gonna lie. If that went over to Quas, if that went over to Lobos, it's a different story, but Lee Sin does not use that gold all too well.
Kitsuo up in the top lane. Copy gonna take about 60% of it, or I'm sorry, take about 40% of his health, leave about 60. Savage is gonna be able to pick up that kill, or turret. And Copy is going to answer. I got kills on the brain, I'm sorry. There were so many kills last game. It's so weird not to have like 30 more kills, but we could see one more. Ornhorn gets popped. Savage is going to get flashed.
Beautiful.
So low.
Absolutely
Perfectly
beautiful.
executed. Fallen Bandit picks up that kill.
This is what you expect from 100 Thieves next. Just clinical, clean gameplay where they're winning every team fight. They're getting so many picks. They're getting so many objectives. They're not really making that many mistakes this game. Okay, there have been a couple of deaths that probably didn't need to happen, but outside of that, they're just forcing so many really nice plays, and they're playing everything so well. NXI, God, can we tab over to the gold? This guy's probably 2,000 or 3,000 ahead of Kitsuo. He's 2,000 ahead, and Kitsuo just got a massive shutdown, so it's looking pretty tough considering Lee Sin has the most gold on his team. That is definitely not something you want to see.
Especially when later on in the game, he's more or less just a kick bot. He's got a flash, he's got a ward hop. we really have to see how he's able to land these kicks onto Copy, NXI, or Yon, because you don't want to kick an Ornn and you don't want to kick an Nautilus.
Yes. Yeah, and Ezreal's a beautiful pick here for this team comp. It's why I would have loved to see Frostfire drafted for themselves. Lee Sin is heavily negated by Ezreal's mobility, by the Iceborne Gauntlet coming through. It is going to be Trinity Force. I do like that when you're just this far ahead, and you also have an Ornn, you can buff that up. But, I mean, it's just going to be so hard for Kitsuo to actually do anything. He's always going to be down about 2 or 3 levels on Yeon. If he goes for a kick-in, he will just die.
Yeah, we saw it for Yeon's first death, too. It like he arcane shifted, he flashed, and then he was still alive for a while. Otto caught out in the middle of nowhere. Super Mega Death Rocket gets juked. Savage.
Wait, no way he lives. Okay.
Zap picks it up, delivered over to Lobos as Jinx. And the bottom turret's going to get taken by Fallen Bandit.
Yeah, it's just a bit interesting why they're playing up in the mid lane, considering that their side lanes are so strong. Oh, he might just get blown up.
Yeah. Kid going to come back. NXI has to use the ulti, but isn't going to kill Kitsuo. That's a teleport coming in from, it looks like, Copy and Fallen Bandit. That's going to be Destiny Gate picking up the kill onto Kitsuo. Ornhorn doesn't kill Lobos, but he is able to expertly flash and heal his way out of there.
Yeah, Lobos with no flash is going to mean that for the next 5 minutes, there is a massive target on his back. Every time the Ornhorn is up, every time the Dredge line is up, Lobos is going to be he's going to have to be very scared. For this next dragon, they're probably going to have to give it up. That's going to be Soul Point over to 100 Thieves next. It's looking pretty doomed for them. They're down, what, 7,000 gold at this point. They're going to be down this Rift Herald. They're down so many towers. They have no pressure on the map. If you just look at the vision control, if you toggle it for them, they can't really see anything outside of some just scattered jungle wards. I mean, they have no vision of the Dragon Pit. They have no vision of the river. As soon as 100 Thieves next comes in there and sets up all control, it's pretty doomed.
Yeah, I see 3 control wards out from the side of 100 Thieves next, and just 2 wards on the field. One over near that mid lane turret, and then one in that raptor bush on top side.
Yeah.
So not a lot. Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds. It looks like Frostfire want to set at least some vision, so that way they have a chance at delaying the soul. But if they if Frostfire are able to get these 4 dragons and get the Infernal Soul for themselves, that is so much damage into a Jinx, a Lux, and a LeBlanc. Yeah. And a Lee Sin, and a Gangplank.
Ooh, they may have found NXI here, who does have
He flashes and uses the collateral damage, but gets kicked back by Kitsuo. That is 2 kills, traded for 1 so far. Otto's here. He's going to pop the ulti onto Lobos. Dean is going to be the sacrificial Lux as Yeon comes in with the arcane shift. 1 more Q's going to do it, but Lobos is not getting out today. Copy with the Destiny Gate and Fallen Bandit. With the Ornhorn, Copy finally picks up the kill after a little bit of emotes.
Yeah, a little bit of BM there from Copy, but it's exactly what we were outlining before. Lobos with no flash means that he's just a sitting duck for this Ornn ultimate. As soon as that's actually channeled, if the slow lands from the initial part of the Ornn ult, the knockup is sure to follow. There's no peel in this team comp. Lux is kind of a peel mage, but I mean, still, like, that binding is not going to do anything. The shield is not going to do anything. It should just be Quas walking it out. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeon's coming up. I think Quas just dies.
Yeon's coming in. The barrel gets taken out by Fallen Bandit. They're going in for the long run. Quas tries to get a little bit of turret damage. NXI is here. It's a 3-on-1 as Yeon finally shows up. NXI picks up that kill. They will probably lose this turret for it, but I think 100 Thieves are handily in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they're spam pinging on mid lane. They want these kills. They channel the Destiny.
Copy comes in, Destiny Gate lands the stun onto Dean. Anchor Toss comes in onto Kitsuo. Lobos trying to put out damage. Kick comes out onto Otto. Savage is going to eat an exhaust. Dean is so low. He's finally going to get picked up. NXI picks up that kill. Savage has to W away, but he's got the red buff burning him down. Double kill over to NXI, sitting at 10-2-7 at sub 20 minutes.
Yeah, that might be all she wrote, brother. 3 dragons secured already. The soul coming up in about 4 minutes' time. It's tough because after such a close and such a back and forth game one, it's a little bit sad to see such a one-sided game two.
Oh, they're going after Quas. He uses the oranges, but it is not enough.
Yeah, Kitsuo dead too,
NXI,
maybe.
lateral damage, secures NXI that kill, and the Rift Herald secures that turret. And I don't know if it got that charge off. It did get the charge off. So
Yeah.
that bottom lane inhibitor turret is almost dead.
Yeah, this is hard to watch. This is real hard to watch. This is what a lot of people expected when they saw the first versus 8th seed matchup here. They just expected 100 Thieves to play a clean, controlled game, play champions that they like. I think they have a much better draft this time around. It fits what they want to do. Fallen Bandit has really always on 100 Thieves Nexus in his time as a player in the last few weeks. He's always just been willing to sacrifice his own lane, his own, advantages to get his team the advantage. He's not a selfish player. He understands that his mid laner Copy, his jungler NXI, and his AD carry Yeon, they are the carries. Fallen Bandit is not the carry on this team, so he locks in the Ornn for himself, able to get his hands on that. He knows that even if he falls behind a Quas, it's okay, because he will be there in teamfights, he will be tanky, he will be able to set up his carries. And I really do like the first pick Graves coming in for NXI. Getting him on a carry champion compared to that set, I mean, it's just, the scoreboard shows it. This guy is putting in work this game compared to last game.
Half his team's kills, sitting at 12,000 gold, the most gold in the game, almost double of what Kitsuo has. And he is at 3 full items. Teleport's going to get channeled and going to get stopped out.
Oh, man.
With Yon coming in, it's round 2 of the clown car music. And they try down. I don't think Quas is able to get out. Oh, that's some more BM coming out from Yon. Quas channeled the ulti top because they're fighting Copy and Savage. Savage going to eat some cards to the face, and he is going to be okay. But Copy makes it out for the exchange of his flash. Mid turret goes down. NXI is right near Dean, but he's going to stay on the inhibitor turret. He's going to have Otto joining him in just a minute. Otto's going to chase out Lobo, so it's Dean versus NXI. Teleport comes in from Copy. They're going to be able to pick up this inhibitor turret. They might, honestly, they're going to get 2 inhibitors here, or at least 2 turrets.
Yeah, I see no world where Frostfire can actually walk up and defend this. I mean, NXI just walks forward, and who can actually threaten him? As soon as Fallen Bandit steps up to the front line, there's just no damage. There's really no damage. Jinx does a little bit, but you see she's wailing on Ornn. There's nothing happening. Inhib fallen. It's looking tough.
2 inhibs down. Ornhorn comes out. This could be the end of the game right here. They catch Lobo's out. He has to flash. Kitsuo's so low, but he's going to get the heal out. Yon finally picks up that kill. That is a double kill over to Yon. That is going to be a kill going over to NXI. If Yon was looking for a penta, he's not getting it today because there are already 4 kills going over to 100 Thieves. And Quas is standing in the fountain, and this is going to be game 400 Thieves next. Such a clean second game out of them. We saw game 1 was such an interesting back and forth between the two. We were expecting so much more out of this second game from Frostfire, but 100 Thieves turned up the damage, and they're going to be able to pick up game 2.
Yeah, it's a bit sad that we didn't see such a good game 2. I was really hoping that it would go to that game 3. It ended up not, though, and I mean, what can you say? 100 Thieves Next is definitely the better team. There was a little bit of upset potential, as we saw in Game 1, but I think they tunneled in a little bit too hard on their comfort picks, right? Kitsuo was known really for 3 champions. His Graves, which is his best. Lee Sin, it's okay. It's pretty good. Not a great pick, though, in my opinion. And then his Jarvan. If you take him off those 3 champions, his impact is really not that impressive, honestly. And honestly, his Lee Sin into Graves there, it's a tough matchup to begin with. But he definitely didn't play it all too well. He got the early invade off, but ended up falling behind almost 30 CS in the early game. It's pretty tough. It's hard to come back when your team scales worse and your mid-jungle early game 2v2 is not able to get the ball rolling.
And it's really rough when you don't have a tank, especially when you're up against Ornn, who can just soak so much damage. We saw how effective Quas was on Shen that first game, and how much more damage he took so much faster on that gangplank. Yon was doing like 20-25% of his health with a Q and an
Yeah.
auto, and it just was not as good of a team comp to play around a Gangplank, in my opinion. You kind of needed, you had said in the break, a Galio.
Yes. I really do think if that was a Galio coming in as the 5th pick instead of LeBlanc, I think that would have done so much more. You'd have the global pressure with the Galio ultimate combined with the Gangplank ultimate, and on top of that, Galio is just a nice matchup into Twisted Fate. When you pair it into Twisted Fate, you can match the Destiny, you can match the Wave Clear, you can match him in the side lane. It out team fights Twisted Fate in most scenarios. I think it's good, but I think just a little bit of hubris, maybe a little confidence. He did play game 1 pretty well on his LeBlanc, so it makes sense that he wants to get it again, especially when you pair it with Lee Sin. There's a lot of potential there, but I'm not a huge fan of drafting early game when you are the worst team on paper. It makes it hard for you. You're fighting an uphill battle.
And we saw how much pressure they were able to put early on, but they were never able to transition it to objectives. They lost every dragon and every Rift Herald, and they just weren't able to get their foot in the door to really try and snowball the game to hit those later stages.
Yes, I completely agree. You're drafting a team comp to try and reach maybe 30, 40 minutes to reach 3 or 4 items, and you fit in a LeBlanc and a Lee Sin who, in theory, maybe they can provide an early game bridge. Maybe they can try and get you to that late game sooner, get you to that late game safer. But, I mean, you see the downside of it, right? If you draft early game champions around your late game champions, well, the late game champions can't help you, right? So it's on the LeBlanc, it's on the Lee Sin to get the ball rolling. And when you don't, you just fall flat on your face. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, a 2-0 out from 100 Thieves next. If you enjoyed Frostfire's first set of games, they are not out of the tournament yet. There is a losers bracket, and so I'm not sure who they are facing. I don't know how the other series have gone.
Yeah, neither am I.
But they do have another shot at climbing back up. We could always see this at a later point. And we do also have some games later today. We have the other set of games for the first round coming up, and I'm very excited to watch those and see how the first round really breaks out.
Yeah, I believe those start at 6 o'clock Eastern, the second phase of the quarterfinal games. Be sure to tune into those. They're on various Twitch channels, but you can find them all on Twitter. And I'm sure people will be tossing those around. I'm really excited to see how those go. And I'm really excited to see how Frostfire does in the lower bracket. I think this team has potential. And I think if they could just kind of refine their draft, it's a bit hard. They don't have a coach. Kitsuo does a lot of their drafting, so it's honestly pretty surprising that they made it this far. If they could really refine their draft and really figure out what they want to do, that team can do a lot of damage in these playoffs.
Absolutely. And especially for 100 Thieves, the second game for them must be such a big confidence boost because now they're going into the next round of playoffs, knowing that they can play very clean. They were able to play from behind for most of that game. So we've seen flexibility really out from them. Their draft, they've stuck with a lot of the similar ideas where you have Fallen Bandit on a tank, and Exile carry, Yoan putting in damage from behind, and then Copy sort of in between, and then Auto could just tank damage to Blitzcrank or Nautilus. So I'm very excited to see how these teams sort of go forward in the tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun to watch. I hope that I get to cast another series of these 100 Thieves guys because that game 1 was so fun to watch.
Yeah, and don't forget, in a little over an hour, the second set of games are going to be starting. I believe that is all from us here today. I want to thank Dylan so much for these games. It was an absolute blast. Shout out to Mikey for producing.
Yeah, thank you, Mikey.
Keeping it really clean. I hope everyone in chat enjoyed the games, and we'll see you guys next time.